Thank you very much, Mr. Swapnil, and I would like to thank the India office of Tokyo University for inviting Osaka University for this wonderful online session. I would like to share my screen. And I will explain, give presentation about our university. Can you see it? Can you see my slides?
Yes, Professor Clement.
Thank you. So my name is Clement Nakawijaya. I'm originally from Indonesia. I've been working in Osaka for 10 years already. So first of all, please let me explain where Osaka is located. It's located in Western Japan, and it's about 1 hour flight from Tokyo, or about 3 hours of Shinkansen ride or bullet train ride. It is located very close to the cultural centers of Japan, Kyoto and Nara, and also Kobe city, the fashion city of Japan, at the western side of Osaka. In the world, Osaka is the 4th most livable city. This is based on the Global Livability Index in 2019. And as a comparison for this index, Tokyo was ranked at number 7. Of course, you'll find another ranking in different indexes. For a brief history of our university, as Mr. Swapnil already explained, we had a history back to 1724, and also in 1838, Tekijuku, which is the Dutch study school in medicine, was established. In 1931, our university was founded and the name at that time was Osaka Imperial University, and the money came from the support from businesses, community, local government, and civil society. In 1949, the university name was changed into Osaka University, and in 2007, there was a merger between Osaka University and the Osaka University of Foreign Studies, in which the second one became the Faculty of Foreign Languages in Osaka University. In 2031 is the 100th anniversary since the foundation of Osaka Imperial University. We have 3 campuses and 1 center in 4 cities. The first campus is in Toyonaka City. This is not a very big campus. It's the second largest campus. The second one is Mino campus. So this one here. So this was where the Osaka University of Foreign Studies was located. However, this campus will be closed around this end of this year or beginning of next year, and we will have a new campus which is located in between of Toyonaka campus and our largest campus, which is the Suita campus. We have the Nakanoshima Center. This is in the downtown of Osaka. It's basically used for seminars and also symposiums there. We have 11 undergraduate schools and 16 graduate schools. As you can see here, we have more graduate schools than undergraduate schools. And the fields that are studied here range from social sciences, human sciences, humanities, engineering, science, and also medicine and the related fields. We have 6 research institutes. These are world prominent institutes that work on high-level sophisticated research. We have 16 centers and facilities that support education and research in Osaka University. We have 1 International Advanced Research Institute, which is the IFREC, the Immunology Frontier Research Center. We have 2 university hospitals, 1 general hospital and 1 dental hospital, 4 libraries, and 18 educational and research support organizations. There are 4 strategic research areas that Osaka University has been advancing. The first one is immunology. This has been going on for quite some time, for more than 10 years. And this is spearheaded by IFREC. This is the one I mentioned before, and also the Research Institute for Microbial Diseases. The second one is the Integrated Frontier Research for Biomedical Science, and this is for translational and reverse translational medicine, and also working on the application of stem cells and etc. This is under the Graduate School of Medicine. The third one is the Symbiotic Intelligence System. This is related to AI, robotics, neuroscience, and human-robot interaction. And we have a center called the SysRec in Osaka University. And the last but not least is the Quantum Information Science and Quantum Biology. For the first one, I think Mr. Swapnil also mentioned about Professor Shimon Sakaguchi. He used to work in Kyoto University, but he moved to Osaka University several years ago. And he is one of the prominent researchers, leaders of IFREC, together with Professor Akira, who is also a very famous researcher in his field, Professor Nagata, and Professor Kishimoto. So this is a very strong institute in the field of immunology. It has produced a lot of high-level papers and also research results, and also has many collaborations with companies and also other universities in the world. The second one that we have been pursuing quite recently is the Integrated Frontier Research for Biomedical Science. This is headed by Professor Koji Nishida from the Graduate School of Medicine, and he made the news, I think, around last year as the person who did the first time in the world transplant of cornea made from iPS cell. So this is his lab is working on the application of iPS cell in the clinical settings. The second one, who's also worth to mention, is Professor Sawa, who received the ribbon medal award from the emperor. He was also in the news earlier this year as the person who did the first transplant of heart cells made from iPS cells. Both of them are under the clinical trial, of course, and we hope that these trials can be successful and can be useful to treat patients. The third field is the Symbiotic Intelligence Systems Research Center, and this is headed by Professor Hiroshi Ishiguro, and he is quite famous as the father of humanoids. He built robots that look very similar to humans and are able to interact with humans. The center is also headed by Professor Asada. He's the administrative director of the center. He's also a very famous professor, researcher, scientist in the field of robotics. He's actually now the director of the Japan's Robotic Association. The last but not least is the Quantum Information Science and Quantum Biology. So this is headed by Professor Kitazawa and also co-headed by Professor Fuji. Both of them are actually very prominent scientists in the field of quantum information science. And the field is very popular lately, especially with the interest that Google, Microsoft have in quantum computing. So not only working on the hardware or development of quantum computers, but this center also works on the application of quantum computing in the fields of biology and chemistry. Osaka has many industry and university collaborations. There are several phases, and in this case, there are two phases. So first, for an industry or for a company to work together with Osaka or have research collaboration in Osaka, in the first phase, they can have technology consultations or individual joint research and industry on campus. In phase two, this is the first in Japan, we have 101 joint research labs, and there are two types, the joint research chair and research alliance laboratories. Other than the previous one, we also have a comprehensive partnership with the industry. So not only having a partnership in which the industry uses the results that Osaka University researchers have obtained, but in this case, this is a very comprehensive partnership that starts from the basic research stage. So even for things that have not been done yet, these three companies actually are willing to fund the research that Osaka University scientists are conducting. We have 4 overseas centers. We have one in Europe in Groningen, one in Bangkok and for the Asian Center, one in Shanghai, and one in San Francisco. We have 134 inter-university agreements. So for students studying in these universities are able to study in Osaka University for free without having to pay for tuition if they are under, if they're coming here under an exchange program. Students of Osaka University, if you're enrolled in Osaka University, can also visit our partner universities and without having to pay for the tuition fee there. We have 617 interfaculty agreements. With South Asia, we have this partnership with the Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. And our international students mostly come from Asia. 84.6% of our international students are Asians, and about 60% of those Asian students are from China. For some reason, Indian and South Asian students are not very common in Osaka, but I have known some. I've also known some Indian professors that are quite good friends with me. So I think you will not be lonely in Osaka. The growth of number of international students have been increasing. It's quite seemingly saturating in Osaka, but in Japan in total, of course, it's been increasing. In each study, you can see the graph here. So mostly are in the fields of engineering and science, some in humanities and social studies. And this is the growth on number of international researchers in Osaka University. The total of our international students now is around 2,600. About 62% are graduate students, 14% are undergraduate students, and the remaining is non-regular or exchange students. What are the opportunities that we can offer to students that are interested in studying here? So first, let me explain about the academic year. So as other Japanese universities, our academic year begins in April. However, we have 4 terms. So this is basically to make students easier to move, to enable the mobilization of students. The spring terms in April to June, summer term June to September, fall October to December, and winter December to March. Right, so opportunities to study in English. There are several programs that we offer in English. The first one is at the undergraduate level. We have 2 programs. The first one is completely English program, the Human Sciences International Undergraduate Degree Program. The second one is more of a mixture of English and Japanese program. So this is called the International Undergraduate Program in Science, in which students here study physics, chemistry, or mathematics. So the first 1.5 years, it will be in English, and the later years will be in Japanese. Students that are interested in this program need to have a minimum of N3 level of Japanese in their JLPT test. The graduate degree programs, we have more, 2 in science, 8 in engineering, 1 in engineering science, and 1 in information science and technology. We also have non-degree programs, which I will, of course, explain in more detail later. So these are our graduate programs in English. So in science, you have the special integrated science course, so master's and PhD, international physics course, and etc., etc. I will not discuss this in details. And if you are interested, please visit this website, and you can download the program pamphlets here. Okay. So how can you apply for graduate school? So this is the general flow of admission of students into the graduate school. First, read the admission guidelines for the program of your interest. So each program normally has separate admission criteria. Identify a potential supervisor that can accept you as his or her student, and contact the department for further details or questions. Can normally admission staff to office staff in each department. Prepare and submit the required documents if you're accepted. Enroll as a research student for 6 months to a year, and then take the entrance exam of the degree program. You can visit this website to search for the scientists, the researchers in Osaka University that are working in the field that interests you. One example of our graduate program, this is the Biotechnology Global Human Resource Program for Industry University Co-Creation. And this is a program run by the Graduate School of Engineering. I graduated from this program, when I was in that program, the name is a bit different, but in overall, they're basically the same. So this is a 5-year program. So, however, there is no such thing as a completely 5-year programs in Japan. You're still going to get 2 degrees, a master's degree and a PhD degree. So the first 2 years is for the master's degree and the last 3 years for the PhD degree. And this is an all English program. So our other opportunities, we also have several double degree programs that unfortunately we do not have any double degree programs with South Asian countries. But I will explain about the exchange programs. So these are some of the exchange programs that we have. The Frontier Lab, this is a science exchange program that places students in research laboratory of the following schools, not only science, of course, but engineering and engineering science, and also information science and technology. Maple is a Japanese language program. This is to improve Japanese language skills, enhance knowledge of Japanese culture and society. It's for 12 months. J-SHIP program is a short stay intensive Japanese language program for introductory to lower intermediate level learners. Maple is more for the higher level ones. OSAP is the standard exchange program of Osaka University and its partner universities. So this is for 3rd to 4th year undergraduate students to take special academic classes in English in Osaka University. iExpo is the Immersion Exchange Program Osaka, and this is for students who are fluent in Japanese, and these students are able to freely choose classes, even for the ones that are classes for the regular Japanese students, and conduct research under the guidance of a professor. Last but not least, I will explain about the other resources that we can offer, our support services, facilities, and more. We are very proud that we have almost completed the construction of the Osaka University Global Villages. We have one global village in Mino Semba, so this is where this is located very close to where the new Mino campus is, and this is a student dormitory that is open for international students that are studying Japanese in Mino campus. We also have the Osaka University Global Village Tsukumodai. This is a more general dormitory for students and also for researchers in Osaka University. We have 3 student centers, one in each campus, the Suita Student Center, Toyonaka, and Mino Student Center. These international student centers provide support for international students and provide help if they need it, also for international researchers. We also have a career center that supports training, consultation, and more for students who are about to graduate and want to find jobs in Japan. And you can actually learn how to fill in the entry sheets for companies that you're interested to apply to, how to succeed in job interviews, and so on. Please visit our website. We have a renewed English website, and we are also in the social media. We have accounts, official accounts in Twitter, Facebook. We have a lot of videos on YouTube, and you can freely access this and gain more information. So thank you very much. This is the end of my presentation, and I hope I can see you one day in Osaka. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Clement, for your presentation and showing us about some of the state-of-the-art research being carried out at Osaka University, especially in the field of biotechnology, as some of the students were curious about biotechnology, and you mentioned about the world's leading researchers working at Osaka. So that was quite good. So if you want to take some of the questions from Q&A session.
Yes.
Would you like to choose the questions from the Q&A
yes,
portal?
I'm seeing this one. So there's one question here. SAT, TOEFL, are they needed? Um, TOEFL is definitely needed for the English programs. However, if you are applying for the regular Japanese program, uh, you will probably also need JLPT other than TOEFL or IELTS. Undergraduate bioscience courses, no. We used to have a CBCMP program. This is the chemistry biology combined major program, but this program was stopped earlier this year. So we do not accept students anymore for this program. As the replacement of this program is the international undergraduate program in science that does not have biology there. My email ID, I can send you later and on chat maybe.
If you can share some of the important information in the chat, it will be good as well.
Right. I'll share my office email here. And you can email me anytime. I'm responsible to attract international students to Osaka University. And if I can help you, I can try to help you. For postdocs, we have a lot of postdoc positions, but it depends on the lab, basically, if the lab has funding for that. So it's much better if you contact the professor directly than through me.
It is generally the common point for postdoc candidates. These questions arise quite often, and it's more majorly the individual labs and professors who are responsible for these positions.
Yes.
Yes. So, is there any language test for PhD programs?
Yes. So TOEFL normally, TOEFL or IELTS. So our students studied an English medium in Japan, like India International School. No, if you graduate from an international school, you have an IB diploma. You normally do not need to give to provide TOEFL scores.
Thank you. Information technology. There's one question.
What is the JLPT? So if you're entering the English program, you do not need the JLPT.
Yes,
that's the main idea. If you're entering the Japanese program, that normally N2 is needed. Master in dentistry, there are some. I think the graduate school of dentistry has some master student program openings, but they are not in English. However, for masters, you don't really have to worry about having to learn too much Japanese if you're not able to master Japanese, because most of the time you will spend in the lab, basically. But there is no English program in dentistry in Osaka University.
Okay, thank you. So I guess that covers most of the questions, and some of the professors and panelists from Osaka University have been consistently answering the questions. So I also thank them for their cooperation. And I will take the liberty from the experiences of my attending all these webinars that in general in masters and doctoral courses, most of the courses are in English. When it comes to undergraduate, they are bilingual and Japanese and English programs. So this is one of the common problems, common questions. So this is from my experience that I'm sharing. So I guess thank you again, Dr. Clement, for your wonderful presentation. And I think that brings us to the end of our session.